May 1918, Argonne Forest, France. A German prisoner is being interrogated by French officers. The Frenchman asks, "Which American unit do you fear the most?" The German laughs nervously and says, "The white Americans? No, it's the Schwarze Teufel, the Black Devils. They fight like they have nothing to lose." That was the first time the German High Command officially listed an American regiment as particularly dangerous. Not the Marines, not the 1st Division, the 369th Infantry Regiment, all black, all from Harlem. The regiment White America trained with Broomsticks, and Germany learned to fear more than any other. 1917, Harlem, New York. Black men flooded recruiting stations the day America entered the war. They wanted to prove they were just as American as anyone. The U.S. Army's answer? Create the 15th New York National Guard, all black officers, all black soldiers. Then immediately strip the black officers of command and replace them with white ones. Then take away their rifles and hand them broomsticks. One recruit wrote, "They say there aren't enough guns for us. Funny how every white regiment got Springfield rifles the same week." They drilled with wooden sticks while white units fired live rounds. Because in 1917 America, a black man holding a real gun was considered a threat to national security. December 1917, they sail for France. The Army still doesn't want them fighting. They're classified as a labor regiment. Their job? Unload ships, dig latrines, bury the dead. One soldier said, "We came to fight for democracy. They gave us shovels instead of rifles." Then, France ran out of men. 1.4 million French soldiers already in graves. The French commander looked at the 369th and said, "Color means nothing to us. Give me those men." March 21, 1918, the Harlem boys are handed French rifles, French helmets, and French wine. For the first time in their lives, they are treated as equals. They give themselves a new name that will terrify an empire: the Harlem Hellfighters. The German spring offensive begins. The Kaiser throws everything at the Western Front. French lines are collapsing everywhere. Then the Hellfighters entered the line with the French 16th Division, and for the next 191 consecutive days, longer than any other American regiment, white or black, they never leave the front. No relief, no rotation. They fight, sleep in mud, fight again. German prisoners start telling the same story. There is a new American unit, all black. They do not retreat. They come at night. They do not take prisoners. German diaries call them blutlustige schwarze Männer, bloodthirsty black men. But the name that sticks is given by a terrified German private, Höllenkämpfer, Hellfighters. May 14, 1918, 2 a.m. Private Henry Johnson and Private Needham Roberts are on listening post, 2 men in a hole. 24 German raiders attack. Roberts is shot. Henry Johnson's rifle jams. He stands up, 5'4", 130 pounds, and fights with grenades, rifle butt, and then a bolo knife. He is shot in the head, stabbed 21 times, clubbed unconscious, and keeps fighting. When French troops arrive at dawn, 4 Germans are dead, 21 wounded, and Henry Johnson is sitting on a pile of empty shell casings, smoking a cigarette. He looks up and says, "I was right here when you left me, sir." France awards him the Croix de Guerre with gold palm the next week, first American ever. America? Not a word. The Hellfighters keep going. Belleau Wood, Champagne-Marne, Meuse-Argonne, every major battle. They are thrown into the worst sectors because the French know they will hold. German soldiers begin refusing night patrol when they learn the Hellfighters are opposite them. One captured German officer writes in his diary, "We attacked expecting a breakthrough. Instead, we met the Harlem Negroes. They fought with a fury I have never seen. We lost an entire company in one morning." September 26 to October 19, in the Meuse-Argonne, America's bloodiest battle. The Hellfighters are ordered to take Sechelt. They charge through machine gun fire and gas. When white American units on their flanks fall back, the Hellfighters keep advancing. They capture the town, hold it alone for 3 days until relieved. The French commander writes in the official report, "Never has a regiment fought with such valor and discipline." The entire 369th is awarded the Croix de Guerre, only one of 2 American units ever to receive it as a whole. November 11, 1918, the war ends. The Hellfighters have spent 191 days in continuous combat, never lost a man captured, never gave up a foot of ground. German High Command lists them as one of the most effective units they faced. They expect to come home as heroes. Instead, the U.S. Army tells them, "Do not wear your French medals in America. Do not speak about how the French treated you, and do not expect any American recognition." February 17, 1919, Victory Parade, Fifth Avenue, New York. White regiments march first, thunderous applause, flowers, ticker tape. Then the 369th appears. Their band, led by James Reese Europe, strikes up jazz for the first time on Fifth Avenue. The crowd falls silent. No cheers, no flowers. One white soldier is heard saying they shouldn't be allowed to march with real soldiers. When they reach Harlem, the silence breaks into celebration. That is the only welcome they receive. Summer 1919, Red Summer. Race riots explode across America. Black veterans still in uniform are beaten and lynched in more than 25 cities. The crime? Wearing the same uniform they bled in. Henry Johnson returns with 21 wounds and cannot get medical care. He dies broke in 1929, buried in an unmarked grave. For 97 years, America refuses to award Henry Johnson the Medal of Honor. For 103 years, the regiment receives no unit citation. Their story is erased from textbooks, movies, memorials. White America wants to forget that black soldiers were braver than anyone else. France never forgets. There is a street in Paris named after Henry Johnson. The French still teach school children about les soldats noirs américains who saved France. Germany never forgot either. Veterans spoke of the Schwarze Teufels for the rest of their lives. July 15, 1918, Sechelt, France. The sky is black with smoke. A white American major watches through binoculars as his own men retreat under machine gun fire. Then he sees something that makes his blood run cold. Hundreds of black soldiers in French helmets are still charging forward, alone. They scream a battle cry that echoes across no man's land. The Germans panic and begin shouting, "Die Höllenkämpfer kommen! Die Höllenkämpfer kommen!" The Hellfighters are coming. By nightfall, Sechelt is in American hands, held by the 369th, while every white unit on their flanks had fallen back. The French general weeps openly and says, "These men just saved the entire Allied line." The Second Battle of the Somme. September 29, 1918, the final push. Orders come down. Take Hill 188 at any cost. The Hellfighters fix bayonets. They advance through gas so thick, men are vomiting in their masks. German machine guns cut them down in rows. Still they walk forward. One soldier is hit 6 times and keeps crawling with his rifle until he dies on the enemy parapet. When the hill is finally taken, only 200 men of the original 800 are still standing. A German officer surrenders and says in perfect English, "We thought we were fighting demons, not men." November 10th, 1918, 11 p.m. The war is supposed to end at 11 a.m. the next day, but a German battery keeps shelling the Hellfighters' positions. The men are exhausted, out of food, out of hope. Their commander asks for volunteers for one last patrol. Every single surviving soldier steps forward. They go over the top in the rain and silence the guns. At 10:59 a.m. on November 11, the last shot fired by the 369th is a German machine gun that never fires again. February 17, 1919, 5th Avenue. The moment the band starts playing jazz, 100,000 white spectators fall dead silent. Then something happens that has never happened in American history. The black crowd in Harlem breaks through police lines and floods the street, lifting the soldiers on their shoulders, crying, screaming, throwing flowers. A white reporter writes, "For one brief moment, New York belonged to them." Red Summer, 1919, Chicago, Washington, Elaine. Black veterans wearing French medals are dragged from streetcars and lynched. One Hellfighter in full uniform is beaten to death by a white mob shouting, "Go back to France if you think you're so great." His Croix de Guerre is ripped from his chest and thrown in the gutter. Henry Johnson comes home with 21 wounds and no pension. He tries to get treatment at a VA hospital. He is told, "We don't serve colored here." He dies at 32, broke, forgotten, buried in an unmarked grave in Albany. His last words to a friend, "They gave me a medal in France, but in America, they won't even give me a bed." 1930s to 1960s. Every major World War I monument in America shows white soldiers only. The Hellfighters are erased. School textbooks mention them in one line, if at all. Their battle flag, covered in French honors, is locked in a warehouse and forgotten. 1996. President Clinton finally awards Henry Johnson's daughter the Purple Heart on his behalf. She is 79 years old. She cries and says, "Daddy waited 78 years for America to say sorry." June 2nd, 2015, Arlington National Cemetery. President Obama places the Medal of Honor around the neck of Command Sergeant Major Lewis Wilson, accepting it for Henry Johnson. Obama's voice breaks. "It took us almost a century, but we finally got it right." 2021. Congress awards the entire 369th the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian honor. Only 3 living Hellfighters are left to receive it, all in their late 90s and 100s. One says on camera, "We didn't fight for medals. We fought so one day our people could walk free." I guess we're still waiting. France never waited. There is a street in Paris named Rue de Soldat Henry Johnson. French school children still learn their names. Every year on Bastille Day, French veterans lay flowers at the Hellfighters Memorial. The German veterans who survived never forgot either. In the 1960s, a former Wehrmacht officer visited New York. He went to Harlem and found one of the last living Hellfighters. He saluted and said in broken English, "You were the best we ever fought. I am still afraid of the dark because of you." Today,
When you walk through the National World War I Museum in Kansas City, there is finally a display about the 369th. A little boy, black, stands in front of it and reads, "They fought 191 days straight and never gave up an inch." He looks up at his father and asks, "Why don't they teach this in school?" His father has no answer. The Germans feared them more than any white American regiment, because the Hellfighters fought like men who had already lost everything back home and had nothing left to lose on the battlefield. They were not fighting for medals. They were fighting for the day America would finally see them as men. That day took a century. But on the battlefields of France, they forced the world to see the truth. Courage has no color. Valor has no color. And some debts can never truly be repaid. This is the story of the black regiment Germany feared the most and America loved the least. The Hellfighters. Hell came for them, and they sent it running.